Hello and welcome to the Behind the Badge Foundation's Flashlight series. My name is Jeff Myers. I'm the Chief of Police for the City of Hoquiam. And today we're going to be hearing from Dr. Bob Douglas on the topic of law enforcement suicide. We know that it's an important topic for all of us because each of us face it across the country. We hear about it and we suffer, but often it doesn't impact our own departments. I can tell you from our experience, it did impact our department when we lost an officer at the beginning of 2020. It's a devastating experience for his peers, his family, the community, and it leaves a lasting legacy and impact on us all. We came to realize that officer suicide is very real. It can happen anytime. It can happen any place. In honor of Officer Phil High, please take a moment to listen to Dr. Douglas and always remember that wherever you are, whatever place you are in your life and your career, you're not alone. There's always help and there are people here that care.
It is such a pleasure to have the opportunity for just a few minutes to speak with you about the opportunities to deal with some of the stressors that we are having to deal with in this COVID-19 environment in which we live, along with all the unrest that we are experiencing throughout our country. I realize that you're going through an awful lot. I've kept you in my prayers for years, 25 years on the street in police work and 25 years with the National Police Suicide Foundation. And I have never stopped lifting you up and wanting more than anything else that you would be able to deal with the issues that you deal with each and every day. So let's get right to it. We only have a few minutes. How do we address these issues? What kind of mindset should we have? And that's where I want us to look at this particular time. There is a psychiatrist, a famous American psychiatrist by the name of Dr. Carl Menninger, and he founded the Menninger Clinic in Topeka, Kansas. He makes this statement about attitude. He said, attitude is more important than the facts. And you look at that statement and you say, really, does that play such a major role in my everyday decisions and how I deal with stressors? And I will say to you, absolutely it does. I have followed that for years myself, dealing with a lot of stress, issues of depression, having suicidal ideations because of issues that had come across my path in the last 50 years. And I have found it to be one of the most effective processes that you can have when dealing with a lot of issues. But how do we break all that down? What categories should we look at? Well, I like to break it down into what I was thinking of last night. I was laying in bed, how I would structure this. I break it down into attitudes of 3 P's. The first P would be an attitude of purpose, and that's extremely important, okay? You know, we all cannot continue to sustain issues that this old world throws at us without purpose. It is paramount for us to do that. Now you say, well, I don't feel like I have a lot of purpose right now. And I say, I understand. I realize where you're coming from right now. But that's going back to Carl Menninger, Dr. Menninger's statement. Attitude is more important than the facts. You're establishing this attitude of purpose before that purpose is ever seen in your life. And you say, well, gee, I don't know how that would work. And I would say to you, it is a matter of getting up every morning and realizing that the family that you have around you, the people that care for you, the people you work with every day, you bring to them purpose in life, and in turn, they bring purpose into your life. So it's something that you have to work at, as I can imagine, each and every day. The second P would be an attitude of perseverance. You know, everybody can start a race. You've heard this before, but very few people end that race. They don't follow through. I know things are difficult. I know that you possibly have gone through issues that you thought you'd never have to deal with. But the reality is that perseverance, without it, establishing that attitude of perseverance, you won't continue to be able to be successful. And then the last P. The last P is the attitude of peace. Peace of what? Peace of mind. You know, that reflects into our faith and what we believe. You know, some of us may not have a faith or a denomination, but it doesn't mean you can't establish that. There is a God, without a doubt, that loves you so very much and is waiting and wants more than anything else for you to establish a relationship with Him. You know, while I was in the Marine Corps during Vietnam, never served in Vietnam, but I anticipated that out of boot camp I would be. And I did not have a peace of mind at that time. I was very scared. I found peace of mind when I gave my life to Christ in 1964 in August in Parris Island, South Carolina. The question is asked many times, you know, who do I call? You know, I need help. I need understanding about what I'm going through. And I'd like to make reference to two different organizations that I have found to be and proven to be very effective in helping our families and our officers when they're in crisis. The first one is Safe Call Now, and that comes out of Washington State. And their number, and you want to write this down, so get your pencil and paper. It's 206-459-3020. And they're a 24-hour hotline. That's good for the family, and it's good as well for the officer that's in crisis. And then there's another one that I have great respect for, and that comes out of New Jersey, and it's called Cop to Cop. And their hotline number is 1-866-267-2267. 1-866-267-2267. And they're 24 hours as well. And I believe that you'll find that that will give you some immediate release of your concerns, because you'll be able to see what you can do to address the issues that you've got right at this particular time. But I never want you to get totally discouraged to the point that you feel like you don't have a reason to go on. I deal with a lot of officers that are having suicidal ideations, and they all say, I just want to end the pain. And I want to say to you right now, ending the pain and taking your life doesn't really end the pain. It just perpetuates itself. It goes into your children who never forget. You know, there is a favorite verse of mine, Proverbs 3:5-6, and it says, you trust in the Lord with all thy heart, you lean not into your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. It is my prayer today for you. It's my wish, my love and commitment to each and every one of you, that you will be able to persevere as you realize your purpose, and then as you start to experience the peace that is so much yours for the taking. It takes time to be able to resolve these issues. You don't do it overnight. So on behalf of the National Police Suicide Foundation, I just want to thank you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for the opportunity to be a servant to you once again. And have a blessed day.
We want to thank Chief Jeff Meyer from the Hoquiam Police Department and Dr. Bob Douglas from the National Police Suicide Foundation for today's installment of Behind the Badge Foundation's Law Enforcement Family Network Flashlight Series. This is an important topic and a necessary conversation in our law enforcement world. We have seen and experienced the cumulative trauma not only in others, but also in our own lives. It takes courage to be a law enforcement officer, and it takes courage to be a law enforcement family member. It takes even more courage to reach out for help or to reach out to help someone else. You are not alone.